Quite a few scenes that is starting to come out from this weekend of festivities, I should say. They got a chance to practice, to play, and give us a little glimpse at possibly, potentially Team USA.
The silence that followed Caitlin Clark's first full-court push for Team USA was the loudest sound in the gym, not a cheer. Something changed as soon as she set foot on the hardwood. Highlight reels and social media clips weren't featured here. It was a test of speed, intelligence, fortitude, and poise under the constant strain of being selected for an Olympic. In the middle of it all, Caitlin Clark was defining the floor rather than just taking it. Team USA training are infamously intense, physical, and fast-paced, with the goal of exposing vulnerability. Standard features include short clocks, frequent switching, and relentless pressure. The pace, forced shots, rushed passes, defensive errors causes terror in the majority of people. However, Clark's presence changed the situation. The ball moved differently from the first drill. The spacing became more accurate. Distances that defenders typically disregarded have to be respected. She never coerced the game, though. Whether it was a deep pull-up three, a pocket pass that threaded a seam, or a clever cut that pulled defenders into positions that released teammates for clean looks, her choices were thoughtful. What set Clark apart was her comfort in chaos. The coaches intentionally created overload situations, defenses blitzing, possessions collapsing, instructions minimal. While other players hesitated, Clark thrived. She processed multiple moving pieces simultaneously, adjusting tempo and reading angles with surgical precision. Every possession became masterclass in situational awareness. She wasn't flashy for the sake of attention. Her intelligence dictated where the ball went, who received it, and how the defense responded. That calm decisiveness under stress is exactly what evaluators covet in a player projected for global competition. That Clark's impact wasn't only offensive. She showed subtle defensive growth.
100% right. It's not like last year where she says she's 100% healthy and she's not, because she looks 100% healthy out there. Apparently the shot is there, and that she still is as far
that will likely go unnoticed by casual observers, but was critical for evaluators. She communicated rotations effectively, maintained positional discipline, and competed through mismatches without letting physical pressure dictate her movements. Olympic rosters demand players capable of contributing on both ends. Clark's willingness to do the unseen work, boxing out, switching intelligently, staying disciplined, elevated her status from scoring phenom to dependable two-way player. Loudness, commands screamed, gestures emphasized, is typically used to gauge leadership, but Clark led with gravity. In crucial situations, teammates automatically accepted her read, understanding that her basketball IQ would provide possibilities that the eye might not notice right away. Coaches gave her space within the gym quietly changed when she planned offense. Defenders leaned in her direction, making room elsewhere. Before she ever touched the ball, cuts and rotations were. Her impact was subtle but profound. The floor was sculpted by her gravitational pull without the need for ostentatious. By the third day, the evaluation intensified. Extended runs tested endurance and mental fortitude. Fatigue crept into every drill. Spacing collapsed, and decision-making became a minefield. Clark moved as though time slowed for her. She waited for the perfect moment, a late relocation for a three, a precise hit-ahead pass, probing dribble that drew two defenders before slipping the ball to a teammate. While others succumbed to pressure, forcing shots, or panicking in coverage, Clark executed with poise. Each read was measured, each action intentional, each outcome reinforcing her quiet authority. Subtle leadership showed in every small gesture. She constantly pointed teammates into position, called out switches, and calmed younger players who started pressing out of pain. She didn't dominate vocally, but her presence stabilized the lineup. When momentum swung the wrong way, she restored it, not with dramatics, but with calculated plays that reminded everyone of the standard. Her influence was pervasive, but invisible. She didn't need to be celebrated to be recognized. And then came the moments that defined inevitability. The logo range, threes. Step back, swish. Again, swish. Silence filled the gym, louder than any cheer could have been. These weren't rhythm shots during a flowing possession. They were contested, late clock opportunities, defenders pressing, hands in her space. Yet Clark rose with the same balance, the same economy of motion, as if the court had shrunk to her comfort zone. The gym acknowledged her mastery not with applause, but with stillness, a shared understanding that what was happening wasn't luck, that Ati was inevitable. Every defender's overreaction created more space elsewhere. Quick passes became uncontested shots. Aggressive closeouts were turned into blow-bys. The consistency didn't merely frustrate opponents. It forced them into impossible choices. Players once touted as the future struggled to adapt. Rotations arrived late, energy faltered, and mistakes multiplied. Clark remained steady, untouched by the chaos. She played with memory, intelligence, and awareness that only comes from experience forged under pressure. Comparisons were inevitably prompted by the camp store. Stars like Paige Buchers, Angel Reese, and others have their own aura, media attention, and expectation. However, the narrative did not center on picking Clark over anybody else. Building a team that could succeed on the international scene was the goal. Even so, there were lingering worries about whether Clark's domination could survive with other stars in the subtle tension of competition. Is it possible for coaches to balance individual talent with the organization of the team? The tremendous stakes of every ownership were highlighted by these questions, which created drama without inciting controversy. Physicality, defensive tightening, and relentless pace magnified every minor error. This wasn't an exhibition. This was a confrontation. Clark met each challenge calmly. Even when shots didn't fall, her presence reshaped outcome. Gravity, movement, timing, and court awareness all combined to create an invisible yet undeniable dominance. She dictated the tempo, manipulated space, and forced defensive overextensions that her teammates exploited. This subtle control, more than any highlight, marked her as a generational talent. By the final runs, exhaustion was palpable across the hands rested on knees. Communication faded. Yet Clark remained composed, intentional, and focused. She closed possessions with precision, not flash. Each logo range shot, each calculated pass, each defensive adjustment communicated control. She wasn't chasing dominance. She already had it. Every player, every coach, every observer recognized her performance carried the weight of history. The doubts she had faced, injuries that paused her momentum, moments on the bench when others were trusted instead. None of this appeared on her face, but it lived in her actions. She played not with anger, not with desperation, but with memory, intelligence, and clarity. Each possession reminded everyone that the future isn't given. It is earned, one play at a time. Angel Reese's physicality, Bucher's vision, and other stars' skills created natural tension. Clark's dominance wasn't about silencing them. It was about integrating leadership, influence, and skill into a collective. Team USA isn't about individual supremacy. It's about the alignment of talent, strategy, and execution. And Clark's presence clarified that alignment better than anyone else on. Her influence wasn't measured in box scores. Every possession reflected strategic manipulation. Defenders pulled, rotations delayed, spacing created, and opportunities exploited. Clark orchestrated outcomes indirectly, leaving opponents reacting rather than that subtle mastery, mental, spatial, and tactical, is a hallmark of a player ready not just to compete, but to dominate at the highest level. By the time the gym emptied, there was nothing left to debate. Caitlin Clark wasn't auditioning for a future role, she was defining it. Every possession, every read, every quiet leadership gesture reinforced her authority. She had turned a weekend of evaluation into a showcase of dominance, composure, and inevitability. Every observer, every coach, every teammate had been forced to adjust to her presence. The future, uncertain for others, was hers to shape. This is a tale of emergence rather than a comeback. Caitlin Clark does more than just survive in the midst of turmoil, complexity, and pressure. She sets the rules. She became a norm in a gym full of skill, expectations, and scrutiny. The lesson is clear for Team USA. The future is claimed, not anticipated. Every movement she made carried influence. Teammates instinctively read her positioning. Defenders reacted before she decided her next play. Authority doesn't come from a single highlight. It comes from years of preparation, mistakes, resilience, and acute basketball intelligence. Clark's emergence was inevitable, not accidental, shaped by discipline and awareness down to the smallest. defensive rotations, timing of passes, the subtleties of floor spacing. She was surrounded by chaos. Players found it difficult to adapt. The energy waned, but Clark handled it with composure and determination. Her insight was strengthened by strain and exhaustion. She turned stress into a tool for mastery. The court catered to her need. Every possession had a purpose, and every result confirmed that her existence was inevitable. Each step, glance, and adjustment reshaped the teammates found themselves in optimal positions unconsciously, and the psychological weight was unmistakable. The silence after her deep threes, the calm and intense coverage, and the mental clarity while others faltered sent a message. Caitlin Clark cannot be. She returned to the floor not just to play, but to redefine her role. Coaches, teammates, and opponents were compelled to recalibrate. She had claimed a standard others must now meet. Every glance she cast, every subtle shift in positioning, and every deliberate movement communicated authority without work. Opponents overcommit, rotations lagged, and even the most disciplined defenders found themselves reacting to her rather than executing their own game. Her influence extended beyond possessions. She dictated spacing, manipulated timing, and altered the rhythm of the game itself. The gym, previously a chaotic storm of bodies and decisions, bent subtly to her presence. In that moment, it became clear that Clark's dominance was both unavoidable and systemic. She was not merely a player. She was the metric by which every other performance would be judged. Her narrative ultimately serves as a statement of authority, leadership, and ideals. The floor now bends to talent rather than waiting for it. Caitlin Clark took part in more than just Team USA camp. She asserted her claim, play by play, possession by possession. She transformed assessment into dominance.